Hi, my name's Sean Lee-Davies, and this is Tycoon Talk, where I get to spend some downtime with the biggest names in business. This week, I meet Bruce Rockowitz, Group President and CEO of Li & Fung.
Hong Kong is one of the greatest business cities on the planet. It produces millionaires faster than anywhere else in the world, and making money is a favorite pastime. It's also getting harder, and the question is not just how to survive, but how to thrive. I've interviewed and photographed some of the biggest celebrities in the world in my time as a magazine editor, and successful people all seem to share similar traits. I'm on a quest to discover what drives a tycoon to rise above the rest. Not just to be rich, but to dominate an industry. I want to get behind the public facade and reveal their true personalities, as well as their secrets for extreme success. Bruce Rockowitz is a rare combination of entrepreneur and CEO, managing over 7,000 customer brands, 28,000 employees, and the manufacturing of billions of products. Bruce has been previously ranked as one of the world's top 30 CEOs by Barron's magazine. Bruce has also built companies from scratch, including Pure Group, the international fitness and lifestyle chain. And he happens to be married to Coco Lee, perhaps one of China's most recognizable pop stars. I caught up with Bruce at The Hive, an immense staff chill-out space in the center of Li & Fung's headquarters.
Wow, Bruce, this looks like a pretty fun area. What's going on here?
Yeah, this is where we just relax, get to know each other. You know, it's this whole hive is the heart of the company. It's a place that people can meet and talk, and we work with a lot of very cool brands and a lot of cool customers around the world. So we got to be the same as them. And this is just a meeting place for our 5,000 people on the street, and this is what we really call the headquarters of the world. Sure, when a designer comes from the United States, Canada, places like that, this is what a great place to be, right?
Actually, why don't we have a game of pool? Would you mind having a game of pool?
I'm not that good at it.
Great, something I can beat you at.
A game of pool seemed like the perfect opportunity to ask Bruce about his early days as a sportsman and tennis pro, what brought him to Hong Kong in the first place, and how he started life as a businessman and entrepreneur.
Good shot.
My pool playing skills left something to be desired,
You're
though.
quite a competitive guy. You had a...
By the way, you were stripes. You just put my ball in. Let's go on.
So what got you from, say, into sport and then transitioning into business?
You know, as a young kid, I was a top tennis player at a very young age. I played tournaments all throughout the United States.
Wow.
And so when I went to college, I actually wanted to play, go on the pro tour. And my parents pushed me to go to college. After 2 years, they left the United States and they went to some South Pacific island for top secret type of work.
Oh, wow.
Really. And
Was your dad a spy?
who knows? And so I was left in the United States, and I had the summer off with nowhere to go, and I thought, what's a good time to go and play tennis? And so I decided I'll take a year off from school and play the circuit. And then I was offered the job at the Hong Kong Country Club to teach tennis.
Did you ever play anyone big, or?
John McEnroe.
Who's John McEnroe?
Yeah, exactly. See, you're too young. Tennis gives you a real, any sport gives you a real background for business. You're out there on the court by yourself, and you have to make every decision yourself.
Is that how you feel now, Bruce?
No, I have a whole team.
Okay.
I enjoy it even better.
Right.
Because I don't have all the responsibility.
There was quite an interesting link between your tennis career and your business career, because that's how you got into business here, is that right?
I met Allan Zeman in Hong Kong by chance. Nothing to do with tennis. If you know Allan, he doesn't play tennis.
No.
He exercises, but he doesn't play tennis.
Right.
He was looking for some young guy to come into the business and start kind of from the bottom. And he was asking me, do I know somebody like myself? And then I called him and said, what about me? That's how my career started. So I stopped tennis. I only did that for like the first 2 years I was in Hong Kong. And the company was called Colby. And that was a company that eventually him and I were partners in.
Did you learn a lot from him?
I learned a lot by watching him. He's not a guy that's going to tell you do this, do that. Gives you a lot of freedom. So First day in the office, I know nothing about business, know nothing about sourcing, know nothing about anything. I show up and he's not there. He's in Korea for the next 2 weeks. And I kind of went in almost at the top. It was a small company. And that was sort of my beginning. And then we worked like dogs, 7 days a week. I couldn't even have a date because I didn't know what time I'd ever finish. And 11 o'clock was like an early time.
Oh, yeah. Should we call it a draw?
Yeah.
A gentlemanly draw.
Okay, well done.
From the relaxed atmosphere of the Hive, Bruce took me upstairs to the main offices and client meeting space. It was a chance to learn more about what it takes to run such a large and complex organization.
Bruce, this looks like a shopping mall almost, but this is meant to be your office and headquarters. What exactly is this place?
This place is really to showcase our products. Lee & Fung is a really unique company. It works with the best brands of the world and helps them all the way from design, development, production, sourcing, and shipping all the way through. And so these showrooms are really meant for working rooms, for places for our customers to work when they're here with factories, with designers, and develop product.
Right, I heard some crazy statistics about this. You produce something like 1 in 4 products in the world, is that right?
Last year, we produced about 6 billion pieces of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. And then in our logistics side, we moved around the world more than 12 billion pieces. So altogether, between producing and doing the logistics, it's about 18 billion pieces. So, you know, on average, 2.5 pieces to every person on Earth.
2.5 pieces to every person on Earth?
Yes, on average. But of course, some people, like my wife, has a lot more than 2.5 pieces.
It's to be expected. A lot of big investors such as George Soros are taking a big bet against China, saying China has a lot of problems and it's not too rosy for the future. What's your viewpoint on that?
Well, I think George will lose. You never underestimate China. They have 1.3 billion people. They have a government that is a very strong government that can get things done. The problem with the West has been the government. You know, democracy is great. I'm not against it. I think it's fantastic. But it gets to the point that things don't get changed, don't move. The beauty of China is if it decides something, it will change it. And you can see every 5-year plan that they come out with, they do it. We're just at the beginning of where China is going to be. China's got many more years of growth ahead of it. And anybody bets against it is going to lose.
And then we were on our way to meet Coco Lee, where she was preparing for a charity concert. The drive over was an opportunity to ask Bruce about the challenges and criticisms he's faced as CEO in the years since Lee & Fung acquired Colby, the company he founded with Allan Zeman. Colby was bought out by Lee & Fung in the year 2000 in a private deal reportedly worth 2.2 billion Hong Kong dollars, creating the world's largest sourcing company and paving the way for Bruce to become CEO.
So Lee & Fung share price hasn't been great over the last few years. Do you feel that the share price was undervalued during that time, or is this new strategy is going to work for you?
You know, people have long memories and short memories. In the middle of what I would consider the worst recession since the Depression, we continued to perform. And we literally had one bad year in 2012. And it really hurt the share price a lot. But companies can't go up forever. You have to have some setbacks.
Sure.
And crisis actually is good for a company. And every time that we stumble, people will question, is this stumble forever? We've been around 107 years. Trust me, in 107 years, it wasn't always perfect. But we've always been bigger than we were before.
So Bruce, your detractors have often criticized your company for not focusing on its core businesses. How would you respond to that?
Well, the first thing is the acquisition strategy has been part of our blood from 1994, and we've been very successful with it. We had a lot of opportunity in those years to acquire companies that we couldn't possibly have acquired in good times because they would want too much money. And now, this 3-year plan, we're very focused on organic growth, less acquisitions, because the world's getting better. For sure, I'm not at all apologetic about our acquisition strategy at all. And yeah, there are detractors and people that will argue with me. You know, was it right? Was it wrong? And it wasn't 100% right, but for sure it wasn't 100% wrong. And on balance, it was much better strategy than sitting there and letting the company shrink because the world was shrinking.
It was becoming clear that Bruce has an ability that is common to all entrepreneurs and tycoons. The ability to take big risks, make big decisions, and stick by them. He's also remarkably frank when things haven't quite worked out as planned. But Bruce is clearly a man who takes a long-term view. But first, to family matters. Coco Lee is perhaps one of China's most recognizable pop stars. She and Bruce were married in a lavish, star-studded ceremony in 2011 that reportedly cost up to 150 million Hong Kong dollars.
Hey!
Hey, how are you?
You're here! Hi, baby. So you just got off work?
Yeah. Ready?
Okay, so I'm glad you're here because we need some extra opinion.
Yeah.
We have the posters.
Yeah.
This is a very, very famous artist from the 80s.
Okay. Is this like his first work in a long time?
Yeah. So it's
So
I mean,
that's
it's
pretty
very
good.
meaningful.
Yeah, it's great. It doesn't look exactly like you, which is good.
When we come back, I sit down with Bruce and Coco to talk about their life together and find out what attracted her to Bruce.
I thought he was very handsome and he was very witty. He was funny. I love a guy with
Sorry, is
humor.
this the past tense?
Welcome back to Tycoon Talk. I've been getting to know Bruce Rockowitz, Group President and CEO of Fung. And now I'm going to go sit with Bruce and his wife, celebrated pop star Coco Lee. So we're at the presidential suite at the Ritz-Carlton. What's significant about this place for you?
Well, this place was really where it all happened for us, where our wedding happened. For me, it was really emotional. I don't know why, I never imagined myself I would ever get married. And when I met Bruce, just everything changed. All the dreams, everything that I imagined, all come together and it all happened.
And Bruce, you were married once already. Did you ever think that you would get married again?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I never thought I'd get married again, honestly. And I waited 15 years between marriages, basically.
Apparently when you met, it was love at first sight. Now, in today's world, can that be true?
I don't know. I mean, was it love for you at first sight?
I would definitely say I thought he was very handsome and he was very witty. He was funny. I love a guy with
Sorry,
humor.
is this the past tense?
Was, no. On that day when I met you, yeah.
So 10 years ago, I was handsome. And
No, of course,
today?
still today, very, very handsome. Nothing's changed.
Oh, thank you.
Except the weight, no. But you know what I loved about him, he was really funny and very confident. But that I loved the way he carried himself. You know, a confident man, but extremely witty, and very gutsy.
Really?
Yeah.
Bruce, would you describe yourself as gutsy in the way you approach things?
Not gutsy. I think confident.
Confident.
Confident. Sure. You know, I'm confident in most things, but if I have to get up and sing, no way.
I thought you were gonna do that at my concert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coco, you both have big careers. How do you help each other cope with the pressure?
One thing I've always admired about Bruce, and I love about, is he never brings anything negative home. We'll talk about it calmly, but never like throws any tantrums. For me to be a good wife, or you know, I think I just have to be a good listener.
Bruce, I saw a smirk there.
I think I'm a good listener, though.
Yeah, she is when she's listening.
Bruce, what's your daily routine?
For myself, I get up every morning very early, work out every single morning, and I never miss a day, ever.
Very disciplined.
Ever. And like, if I have an interview at 7:30 in the morning on TV, I'll be up at 4:30 and work out. And that's the one thing in my life that I don't negotiate. I will exercise every single day.
Coco, if Bruce wasn't a successful entrepreneur and business leader, do you think you would have fallen in love with him?
Good question. Life is all about timing, and the time that we met, it was the right timing. He was a guy with confidence and very funny and extremely wise. You know, I learned so much from him, from his experience in life, and I feel that it's because of his success. His experience in life made him into who he is today, that it makes him, the whole package of him, attractive. So it's not because that he was, you know, that he's a very successful guy, but I think it's the whole thing.
You recorded a song for your wedding, right?
I did.
I love that song.
Since I wasn't invited to your wedding, can you sing a song for me?
Do you remember how it goes?
Yeah, somewhat.
Let's hear. Let's hear.
Wait, one look, one night. Wait, no, one look, one kiss, one night. Wait, one look, one kiss, one night. That's how the story goes. One down. I forgot. But I wrote.
She wrote the song.
I wrote the lyrics.
I always find
right?
it amazing that she can write a song and first not remember the name of the song, nor the
You
words.
forgot the name of
nor
the-
the words of the song. But no, I'm talking about just generally.
Well, because I've been singing for 20 years. There's so many lyrics in my head. I write a lot.
Sing one song for us.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Is that okay?
Now your turn, Bruce.
She sings for both of us.
Back in the car, I asked Bruce about the company's succession plan, as Bruce is soon to make way for Spencer Fung, Victor Fung's son. Bruce will then head up a new spin-off company, the Global Brands Group.
I mean, one thing about Lee and Fung, and I'm a good example of that, is nobody gets to the top because of your name. You know, I wasn't the Fung, and I've been in the top for many years. And the best person for the job gets the job. I'm very confident that the spin-off of the brand group, the Global Brand Group, is a culmination of 10 years. We got into this business, we developed it, and we now have connected that to our supply chain. Now it's time for it to spin off and grow in its own right as a separate public company where we feel it'll grow much bigger.
People have commented rather negatively about your sale of Lee & Fung shares in 2011, just before the price drop. Do you think that's fair?
First thing is, every share I bought, and every share, nothing was ever given to me. The truth is, I wasn't getting ready to buy a house. I was getting ready to get married. And that is the truth. And nobody
needed the money for the wedding.
Well, I thought it would be a good time to diversify myself so I can afford the wedding. And so, you know, a lot of people won't understand why you would need to sell shares to do a wedding, but if they came to our wedding, they might understand.
Which role do you prefer, being a CEO or an entrepreneur?
Well, I'd like to be a CEO who is an entrepreneur, and so under Lee and Fung, because every 3 years we reinvent ourselves, I've been an entrepreneur the whole time.
Was there ever a risk that starting Pure might overshadow your work at Lee & Fung?
It started very small,
Right.
and it was, instead of playing golf, this was my passion. And never when I never do it, and it never conflicts with Lee and Fung. And for me, it's a passion.
Pure Group opened its first location in 2002. What started as just one yoga studio with 2 instructors has grown into a multinational lifestyle brand, serving over 50,000 clients across 5 countries. Now, how did you come up with the idea?
Well, the first thing is it's a team. You know, I have a very strong partner who's the CEO, Colin Grant, and we were on vacation together in Whistler, and someone told us about yoga, and we're not typical yogis, and we both went to a class, and to be honest, we just fell in love with it, and when we were in the class, I started to notice that it was packed. And it wasn't that great of environment, and you had to bring your own towel, bring your own mat, didn't sell anything, and there was a line of about 30 people, and I asked, what's that line for? It was to get the 1 shower, and so I thought, wouldn't it be great to create a brand around yoga And so Colin and I got together, and he really been the operator. And I've been involved on the vision, the financing of it, and helping to build behind the scenes. We're a great team. He does all the work, and I do all the thinking.
What makes Pure successful?
We came into a market where fitness was all about price, and we decided that we want to be different. We want to be all about the experience, not just going to exercise. So people congregate, they sit here, they have, buy Pure clothes, they have nude food, and it's a complete environment with yoga, fitness, and many other things. Price is important, and it can't be too expensive. It's about a whole lifestyle for people.
What's your advice to entrepreneurs starting now with such high rents? Because a lot of people complain about the rents as being one of the big obstacles to creating a new business these days.
The truth is, it's very hard to start a new brand in Hong Kong. The rents are too expensive. And so you either build a business that could be off Central and start somewhere else. It has to be a destination, because you're not going to be in the heart of the city. If you can't do that, start somewhere else first, then come back to Hong Kong with your brand.
So where would they go?
Well, they can go to some places in China and develop there. They can go to Thailand, places that have lower rents, and try to develop their brand in another place and come back to Hong Kong. The barriers to entry are pretty tough in Hong Kong right now for new people to come into the market. It's just very expensive, and you're competing with big brands.
You've got pretty much everything a man could want. When's enough for you?
Materially, enough was a long time ago. So I don't need anything material. It'll never be enough about success. I think I'll always be driven. There's something strange about me, that I'm always driven.
You are quite strange.
I am strange. Thank you, Sean.
Finally,
Yeah.
3 tips for budding entrepreneurs in the city.
3 tips. First thing is, you have to have a reason for being. What is needed? What is the space that's missing? What are people looking for? That's key. Find that idea. And once you have the idea, you got to find the right space for that, especially if it's retail, and really build for the future. Don't worry about making money today. I never did. I actually worried about creating a brand, creating a culture, creating service, making sure the customers are happy. That's the best thing. Later on, money will come.
Bruce's charisma and competitive edge make him a natural-born brand builder. But it's also about the winning for him, a trait honed during his early years on the pro tennis circuit. His transformation from tennis coach to entrepreneur and CEO is one that can inspire anyone wanting to start a business, even in today's challenging environment. For Bruce Rockowitz, there's a lot more winning to be done. Since the filming of this episode, Bruce's new role has been confirmed as the Vice Chairman and CEO of the Global Brands Group.